Welcome to The Explainer. Think about how many decisions you make every single day. Some are tiny, some are huge. But what's really going on inside our heads when we have to make a call that isn't just about the facts and figures? Well, today we're going to build a model to understand that powerful, unseen engine that guides so many of our choices. We're talking about subjective judgment.
We all have, that little hunch, right? That immediate sense that something is a good idea or a really bad one, way before you can actually put it into words. So, what's really happening in there when we get that feeling? Let's dive in and explore the architecture of subjective judgment.
All right, so if we're going to build this model, we got to start from the ground up. What's the raw material that fuels this whole internal world of ours? That's where we have to begin.
It all starts right here, with experience. I want you to think of your entire life, everything you've ever seen, done, thought about, as this huge reservoir of knowledge. And it's not just a dusty library of memories. No, this is the living source from which your judgment draws all of its power, all of its authority. So, out of that massive reservoir of experience, the very first thing that bubbles up is a feeling. Before your logical brain even has a chance to kick in, you just get something. You apprehend it without words. It's that immediate pre-verbal signal that tells you, hey, you're in sync with this, or, whoa, something's off here.
Okay, so we've got this raw signal, this feeling. But that's just the start, right? That raw data needs to be refined into something we can actually use. And this is where our inner compass, our intuition steps onto the stage. This is it. This is your gut feeling, your hunch. Think of your intuition as this amazing, super fast pattern recognition machine. It's constantly scanning all your past experiences in the background, and when it spots a pattern, bam, it gives you an answer that just feels right, long before you could ever logically piece together why. It's rapid cognition.
And then you get to the next level. If intuition is about speed, discernment is about quality. It's this incredible art of sensing the subtle stuff, the nuances that pure data could never tell you. Discernment is what lets you feel the difference between something that's just clever and something that's truly wise. It's where your intuition and your intellect really start to dance together.
So you see what's happening here? It's not just chaos inside our heads. There's a clear progression, a path. It all starts with that big reservoir of experience, which creates a feeling. That feeling gets synthesized by your intuition into an insight, and all of that leads right up to the main event, judgment.
And here we are at the very heart of the whole model. Judgment. This is the moment of choice. It's an active, intellectual selection. This is where you take all those inputs, the hard data, the feeling, that intuitive hit, the discerning insight, and you pull it all together to make a call. This is you mediating between the world out there and the world in here. But of course, this whole process doesn't happen in a vacuum. Come on. It's constantly being influenced by what our source material calls these orbiting satellites, all these forces that are setting the entire climate for how we think.
And you can really break these forces down into two camps. On one side, you have the affective modulators, basically the feel. Things like your mood, whether you like something, your personal taste, all of that colors how you interpret things. And on the other side, you've got the cognitive modulators, the frame, your perspective, the conjectures you make, your opinions. Those create the structure for how you reason.
Now, once you understand this whole system, the core process, the orbiting satellites, you have to face the biggest challenge. There's this constant, essential tug of war happening inside our minds every single time we make a judgment. On one side, you've got bias. The best way to think about it is cognitive inertia. It's your brain on autopilot, taking those mental shortcuts that have worked before, turning them into these fixed, crystallized patterns. But on the other side, you have this incredibly powerful tool, zero-based thinking. This is an active discipline. It's the humility to hit the reset button, to suspend your biases, and to look at a situation completely fresh from the ground up. And this is where it gets really, really interesting, because it's a total paradox. We're always taught that to be objective, you have to shut down your feelings, get rid of your biases. But this model says, nope, that's not it. True objectivity isn't about denying your subjective system. It's about understanding it so deeply that you can integrate it consciously. You don't ignore the system, you master it.
Okay, let's zoom out one last time. Let's look at the complete architecture we've just put together. When all of these different parts click into place and work together, what's the final result? What does this beautiful, complex system actually produce?
Here it is, the whole map. You start with the foundation of experience and feeling. That feeds into the core process of intuition and discernment. This all leads to the central act of judgment, which is always being shaped by those modulators and pulled by that tension between bias and objectivity. And when all these parts work in harmony, the final yield, the end product, is wisdom.
I mean, this just reframes the whole idea, doesn't it? We're so often taught that subjective judgment is a flaw, a weakness in our reasoning that we need to get rid of. But it's not. It's the living bridge that connects cold, hard data to warm, nuanced discernment. It's the bridge between our intellect and our very soul.
So here's the big takeaway. This complex, messy, internal system of ours, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's something to be understood, to be navigated, and to be cultivated. Because in the end, our ability to make these kinds of nuanced, personal judgments, well, that's what makes our thinking uniquely and beautifully human. It's not the flaw in reason, but its signature.